The World Serpent Jormungandr, the awesome giant snake we first meet in Midgard in the early hours of our journey set out by Faye. When this incredibly cool looking character was first introduced to us, there was so much intrigue amongst us God of War fans, so much mystery around this one character involving time travel of some form and a connection to Atreus somehow, and we desperately wanted to know more about the last giant of Jotunheim and how he came to be. Well, now that we have played God of War Ragnarok, we officially know who Jormungandr is and his full story, including how he got to Midgard, how he knows Atreus, and everything we could possibly want to know, right? Well, kinda. There are still quite a few questions that we don't know actually. Some things that could possibly be explained in a future game if Cory Borlaug's cryptic tweets are to be believed. Maybe an Atreus-led side game similar to Spider-Man Miles Morales, who knows? But on top of all of that, even after seeing the events of Ragnarok, some people are still confused as to Jormungandr's story. And frankly, I don't blame them. When it comes to time travel and anything time related, things can get complicated real fast. So that's why, at the request of you guys, I am making this video, which will be the full story of the World Serpent explained so far. Okay, the story of the World Serpent actually starts in God of War Ragnarok, if you can believe it. It starts in God of War Ragnarok while meeting Angrboda in a place in Jotunheim called Ironwood. We learn about how the giants possess a magic that allows them to transfer their souls into special marbles that giants can craft as a way to prolong their life and to end any sort of suffering they might be experiencing. We find out through Angrboda that this is what most of the giants that were taken to Jotunheim by Faye for safety had chosen to do, and this is why there are no more giants left today. The reason they put their souls in the marbles, as Angrboda explains, is simply a choice. At the time, Thor, under the order of Odin, was on his genocidal rampage of all the giants in an effort to change the prophecy of Ragnarok. So the giants, instead of waiting around for Thor to come and find them and kill them, simply chose to put their souls in these marbles so they would be safe from Thor. And it is in one of these marbles we find Jormungandr. But we don't know it's Jormi until later, that is. Fast forward a little bit in God of War Ragnarok, after we pick up the marbles, Atreus, along with Angrboda, decide to put one of the giant souls in the body of a snake, which we find soulless in Greila's cave in Jotunheim. Greila being Angrboda's grandmother, who had been stealing the souls from animals in the realm. The soul that Atreus puts in the snake is Jormungandr's soul. Only we don't know it yet. The serpent, after the soul was put into it, immediately comes to life, and it is at this moment that Jormi sees Atreus for the first time, and this is why in God of War 2018 he tells Mimir that the boy seems familiar to him, because he saw him moments after being released from the marble. Anyway, after putting Jormungandr into the body of the snake, he slithers off immediately and we don't see him again for a while. That is until Ragnarok. Fast forward a little bit more here, and now Gjallarhorn has been blown to begin the events of Ragnarok, and in Asgard, all Helheim and every other realm has broken loose, and our Jormungandr is right there in the fight. But not the Jormungandr we know from the 2018 game, or the one we speak to while playing as Atreus earlier in the game and find out about Ironwood, leading us to Angrboda. This is the World Serpent Jormungandr we brought to life by putting the giant soul in the snake's body in Greila's cave. The giant soul not only inhabited the snake's body, but also changed the snake, making it grow larger and larger to the size of the serpent that we see in the Battle of Ragnarok. All because the giant whose soul we implanted was also huge in size. In the fight at Ragnarok, while Jormungandr is battling with Thor in the distance, Kratos remarks that the World Serpent looks different to the way we and Kratos remember him, and that is because he is still growing into his full form and indicating to us that this is the World Serpent that we just created and not the one from Midgard sleeping behind one of the realm towers. There isn't an official reason why Jormungandr, the one from Midgard, didn't join the fight in Ragnarok. It could be because that Jormungandr already knows the order of events and that he would be there, and he was worried about creating some sort of paradox by distracting Thor perhaps, who is supposed to send young Jormungandr back in time. Perhaps, we don't officially know, but that's probably about right. A little while later, once we breach the walls of Asgard, the Thor and Jormungandr fight draws closer to us, and it is at this point we see Thor deliver a massive blow to the World Serpent, causing him to vanish in front of our very eyes. This is the moment we hear about from Mimir. The moment the World Tree shook so violently from the smash of Mjolnir, it caused the World Tree to splinter and send the World Serpent back in time and land in the Lake of Nine in Midgard back 100 years ago, even before we begin the journey in God of War Ragnarok 2018. It is here that the story plays out the way that we know it from Mimir's stories. Jormungandr's arrival in the Lake of Nine raises the water level, causing devastation to the surrounding area and ports, and it is this flood and destruction that attracts the attention of Thor, who attacks Jormungandr as soon as he arrives. This is the first battle with the World Serpent for Thor, and Freya tells us that their fight was so massive and so violent that it could be felt throughout all the 9 realms. But after a while, the fight ends in a stalemate, leaving Thor to return to Asgard empty-handed, and the World Serpent left to grow and grow to the giant that we see him in God of War 2018. We find out later that Jormungandr really hates Thor, and now, thanks to the backstory in Ragnarok, we know why, and that was all down to the pain and suffering Jormungandr saw of his race before being put into the marble, seeing his giant family slaughtered at the hands of the cruel god and his hammer Mjolnir. And finally, where our journey began, we wake up Jormi from his slumber, causing the water level to drop, which reveals the Realm Towers, Tyr's Temple, along with the Realm Travel Room, and the rest, as they say, is history. And that is the full story of Jormungandr, the World Serpent, explained so far at least, and I hope that cleared everything up for you. I hope that cleared up any confusion about how the 2 serpents work and all the time loop and how that all worked in God of War Ragnarok in 2018. I hope that was helpful because a lot of people were confused, and yeah, now you know. I do have some burning questions about the story of Jormungandr, a couple of things that I was writing out as I wrote out this script to tell you guys, but it started to become so big, I've decided I'm going to make that its own dedicated video, so you can expect that soon in the coming days. And I think they're pretty awesome. I think they raise very good questions, very interesting questions for God of War Ragnarok. Hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, we'll catch you guys all in the next one.